Hey, what's up, everyone? Right from the top, the visual and presentation tweaks are noticeable if you pay attention. Cutscenes and camera transitions have been polished, a few UI elements that felt a bit blocky or inconsistent have been smoothed out, and those little presentation stutters that used to break immersion in certain replays now happen less often. Um, it's not a complete facelift, but the game looks and reads a touch sharper when you're in menus or watching those cinematic moments, and that adds up across long sessions. Fielding got some attention, and that's one of the bigger gameplay adjustments people will pick up quickly. The team worked on fielder return behavior and general responsiveness, so you'll see fewer odd moments where a fielder seems to freeze or take a funky route to the ball. That doesn't mean fielders are perfect now, but they feel more purposeful and less like they're making random decisions mid-play. There are still corner cases flagged by players where throws or awkward recoveries behave strangely, but overall the direction is more predictable and believable. Bowling animations were cleaned up too. The assignment system that maps particular motions to certain deliveries has been tightened, which makes a lot of rhythmic things in the bowling cycle feel smoother. When a bowler runs in and their release matches how you expect them to move, the timing and feel of deliveries becomes more consistent, and that has subtle knock-on effects for reading the ball at the crease. It's the kind of change that's small on paper, but noticeable in practice, especially if you're a player who pays attention to animation fidelity and the timing windows that come with it. Career and mode progression experienced a few bug fixes that will matter a lot to people invested in the longer play. Team selection issues in the Ashes mode were addressed so that lineups and squad choices behave properly when you make changes, and progression quirks that kept careers from advancing cleanly have been patched. Crucially for creators who like customization, there was a fix to bat edit saving, so custom bats now persist as intended, instead of sometimes getting lost between sessions. If you've been grinding a long-term save and felt your gear or progression hiccup, these changes should feel reassuring. Player data and management received tweaks as well. Statistics refreshing more reliably, and a few new cosmetic items appearing in the GM inventory round out the update. Stability improvements and crash fixes are part of the patch notes, and while multiple crash types were targeted, not everything has been eliminated. There are still community reports of career-related crashes and save sign-in problems in isolated situations. The studio patched a lot of the low-hanging fruit, but some edge case scenarios remain under observation by testers and players. Community reaction is mixed, but constructive. Many players and content creators are saying that the update makes the game feel more polished in the short term, and that several irritating glitches are less likely to surface. At the same time, threads on forums and social platforms continue to document lingering issues like intermittent save corruption or odd crowd AI behaviors in some match conditions. Those reports are being collected and cross-referenced, so patch 1.05 feels like a clear step forward rather than the finish line. One particularly interesting thing is how the combination of animation and fielding tweaks interacts with each other. When you marry smoother bowling animations with more predictable fielder routing, the entire tempo of an over changes. Catches feel more earned, run-out attempts are more readable, and the timing windows for close single conversions shift slightly. That alters how teams are set in competitive matches because certain defensive setups start to produce more consistent results. You'll notice it in the way slip cordons react to edges, and in those tight run-out sequences where window of opportunity calculations are suddenly a little tighter. Presentation fixes matter beyond aesthetics because they change how reliable feedback is after a play. When a replay shows the sequence correctly and the UI doesn't glitch out, you make fewer misreads about whether a play was clean or controversial. The update also includes a few matchmaking and online session stability patches. While those are not glamorous, they reduce annoying disconnects and sign-in hiccups for some users. Everyone's experience will vary depending on platform and network conditions, but the overall trend in the reports is toward fewer abrupt session failures. From a player experience angle, the combination of small animation improvements, fielding reliability, and career mode fixes makes the game feel more trustworthy. If you were frustrated by the oddball behaviors like a fielder inexplicably halting or your custom bat not saving, those pain points are the ones patched. That said, the community is meticulous and there are still playthroughs showing particular sequences where a crash or desync happens, so the work isn't completely finished. Developers typically use this pattern of iterative incremental fixes to clear out a backlog of different bug classes, so it's reasonable to treat this release as quality of life and stability focused. It removes friction and makes the systems behave the way they were always intended to, rather than changing core mechanics in a sweeping way. People who stream or make content will probably find highlights and clips are less likely to be ruined by presentation errors or strange physics moments, which helps the narrative of a match hold together for viewers. Overall, the tone from players and creators is optimistic, but pragmatic. There's clear improvement and a tangible reduction in a number of headaches, but a few stubborn issues still require additional attention. The patch doesn't reinvent the game, but it does shift the baseline experience towards something tighter and less error-prone, which matters most over long sessions. If you've been playing regularly, this patch will feel like breathing room, less small nonsense to fight against, and more predictable, satisfying matches.